let's talk about Oldboy. It's a 2003 thriller with horror elements. It's Korean and it is directed by Park Chan-wook. Stars Choi Min-sik, Yoo Ji-tae, Kong Hae-jung. I really hope I said that right. Apologies if I haven't. I suspect I haven't, but I had to try. This film begins with a guy being locked up for 15 years. He has no idea why. All he has for company is a TV in sort of a fake hotel room. There's nothing more of the outside world than the TV and a fake window that apparently is a screen with like a scene from Norway in it. It's not real. He's well and truly boxed in. The only thing that happens is a little drawer at the bottom of the door opens, his food is pushed in, and that's all his contact with almost anyone, apart from some strange visits from a woman who will turn out to be a hypnotist. The look of the film is very post-Matrix. I'm sure all the walls in Korea are not green with lime scale stains from top to bottom. I'm sure all the lights don't have a bluish green tint to them, but you're getting the idea that's the look of this film. As well as that, it has an extremely grungy and grainy look. It was shot on Kodak colour negative film 35mm of some kind. Either the film was treated to look like this, or there's a particular film stock that just looks like this. I suspect it was purposeful for it to look so grainy, so dingy and so grungy. There are moments where the grain is so bad it starts to look like 110 film, which is not your ideal film for a feature film, especially in 2003. I think that's purposeful because I think that's the parallel between the TV and that this. I think that's purposeful to look a bit like the image on the TV that Oh Dae-su is constantly watching during these 15 years that is locked up. It's really cool, I think. It's got that, remember the would you steal a car thing? It looks a bit like that. It almost feels digital sometimes. You know, when you're looking at an image through a camera, like a digital camera, and it's really underexposed and it starts to look a little bit blocky. There's a little bit of that. I watched it in HD, but you've still got that, so I don't think it's an accident. I think that was part of the director's choice. I don't think the director was anywhere near amateurish enough to have done that grain thing on accident. I think it's all purposeful. It looks really cool. I suggest that you watch it with headphones on and have the volume as loud as you can bear, because the soundtrack is fantastic. You've got grandiose classical music in it, interspersed with electronica, and again the electronica is very Matrix-ish. It's sort of dance music, but it's also film music. It's really cool. It really carries the story forward because it is so chaotic. The premise is pretty basic. After this person's been locked up for 15 years, they are then released. They don't escape, they are released with purpose. The first thing he does is go to a restaurant, meets a young woman that works there who is very strange. She does something that you just don't do. She takes this guy home within about a few minutes of meeting him. It's madness, but you'll find out later on that there is a reason for this madness. There's a reason she's doing this. There is a scene in the restaurant where Dae-su eats a live creature, and it's extremely difficult to watch. There are many shocking moments in this film. It's rife with violence, and it's really gratuitous violence. We're talking a scene that will make you fear the dentist. Put it that way. Mido, the woman that he meets in this restaurant, is very likeable immediately, if a lot strange. This obviously is going to develop into a relationship, but it's not the sort of usual Hollywood we meet, we fall in love immediately kind of a relationship. There is a scene towards the third act of the film where you see them spend lots of time together, and yeah, quite a lot of times, but this is not really gratuitous. This is one of the lesser gratuitous parts of the film, because it's almost as if there's no one else there. They're just together, time's passing, this keeps going on. You see little silly things that happen at the beginning of a relationship, like at one point you see him blow drying her hair, and you see the playfulness, and it becomes apparent the way it's edited that some time passes. This happens at least over a few days. There are similar scenes in A Star Is Born with Barbra Streisand where they're doing the same sort of thing, and I find it much more realistic than you have in modern Hollywood kind of love stories. They're too slick, they happen too fast, everything's too convenient, they don't have any real vulnerability, and they don't put their heart on the line in the same way that you do in a real relationship. It doesn't all just slip into place. It's awkward, it's frightening, and joyous all at the same time, and that's the feeling that you get during this scene in the third act. And this is when a real closeness is established between these two characters, and it is quite important that this relationship is established as being joyous, because Mido is later used as a weapon, which you'll see when you watch it. I'm now going to talk about spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, come back, we'll talk about it. Dae-su is very desperate to find out why he's being locked up, and I think that does cloud his judgment in some ways. There are reasons that Dae-su is so desperate to find out why he was locked up, because it's somewhat hard to follow, but it appears that a hypnotist has made Dae-su think that he may have killed his wife, and because he's been locked up for 15 years, then the statute of limitations is about to expire. So he's only got so long to find out what's going on, what the story really is. There is the real reason that Dae-su is being locked up for 15 years is a kind of punishment. The main villain has employed some criminals to put Dae-su in sort of a private prison. It wouldn't really happen. The business model is terrible. It's a private prison, and people exacting revenge give these criminals money and they lock them up for a predetermined amount of time. on the conditions that they stipulate. It's frankly ridiculous, but it doesn't really feel ridiculous because of the way this world is so well built. I think in any other film it would be a bit silly, but this one kind of lays the foundation to make it not so silly. The reason for this locking up is that the quote bad guy is in an incestuous relationship with his sister about 20 years ago. Dae-su has seen this and has spread rumours about, she's this, she's that, and she becomes pregnant, and then later on she sort of jumps, she commits, she ends things, right? That's what I'll say. And the antagonist blames Dae-su for this, massively blames him for this, for spreading these rumours, for doing the high school thing, and facts becomes fiction, becomes more fiction, until this person becomes legendary. And I think that's what drives her to it, and that's what it's all about. The antagonist doesn't so much want vengeance as he wants total and utter submission, admittance of the facts, a confession, a total and utter owning of Dae-su. He really wants him to feel sorry for what he's done. And that's what it's really all about. I am giving this film 4.5 out of 5. The 0.5 that's missing is just because it's not entirely accessible. It really would be fantastic if this was dubbed in English so that it was easier to watch and a little bit easier to follow. It's really cool. There's loads of fantastic, exciting fight scenes, and the overall story I think is amazing. It's got a very grungy look. It's really cool. It's actually really encouraged me to open my mind a little bit more and watch a few more Asian films. It's really cool. Right, that was my review of Oldboy. Tell me what you thought of it. I'll see you next time.